Now to the details. 3 former senior executives of collapsed investment firm Stocks and Securities Limited (SSL) are expected to appear in court in January next year. They are SSL's founder Hugh Croskery, his daughter Sarah Meany, and the company's former chief executive officer Zachary Harding. The trio were slapped with several charges in relation to the ongoing investigation into the multi-billion-dollar fraud investigation at the entity. They have been charged with breaches of the Bank of Jamaica Act, Securities Act, and Banking Services Act. Croskery and Meany are facing additional charges of breaching Jamaica's Larceny Act. They were charged on Saturday and given station bail. The trio were taken into custody on Saturday following a multi-agency operation across St. Andrew and St. James. The operation was led by the Financial Investigations Division, FID, working alongside the Constabulary Financial Unit and the JCF's Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTOC. It involved the search of 4 locations across 2 parishes. The SSL investigation has been one of the country's most closely watched financial probes in recent years, involving multiple local law enforcement and anti-corruption agencies. Sprint legend Usain Bolt is one of about 200 victims of the multi-billion-dollar fraud. Prior to these charges, only a former employee of the investment firm, Jean Panton, had been charged in relation to the fraud probe. She remains before the courts. Meanwhile, Principal Director of Investigations at the Financial Investigations Division, FID, Keith Darian, says that the operation was evidence-based and reflects the agency's commitment to protecting the country's financial system.
This operation reflects our commitment to conducting thorough evidence-led investigations that protect the integrity of Jamaica's financial system. By working together and securing key evidence, we strengthen the case where needed to advance accountability and safeguard the public interest. We will continue to work strategically with our partners to follow the facts, pursue the proceeds of crime, and prosecute financial crime in the courts in keeping with the rule of law.
Keith Darian, a Principal Director of Investigations at the FID. For his part, head of the Constabulary Financial Unit, CFU, Inspector Brenton Williams, is seeking to assure the public that the various law enforcement agencies are equipped to properly investigate the alleged fraud in keeping with the rule of law. He acknowledged that there is impatience among some members of the public for a speedy resolution, but insists that given the magnitude of the alleged crime, time was needed to gather the evidence.
The complexity of this investigation cannot be overstated. The alleged fraud was long-standing and sophisticated. Probing it required a comprehensive review of events dating back to SSL's inception in 2006, including careful analysis of investor activity and how funds moved across the entire period. Work of this nature takes time and must be done diligently. We understand the public's expectation for swift results and that delays can be viewed negatively. However, the JCF, the FID, and our law enforcement partners, including MOCA, have the capacity and expertise to conduct these investigations thoroughly and bring matters forward in keeping with the rule of law.
Inspector Brenton Williams, head of the CFU. In the meantime, according to the authorities, the matter of charges against Dermot Meany will be the subject of separate communication from the appropriate law enforcement agency. Meany was arrested in relation to a Firearms Act breach discovered during the course of the operation. He is a licensed firearm holder. However, he was found to be in possession of ammunition exceeding the legally permitted amount. Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake says the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, will remain unrelenting in its fight against crime and violence for the upcoming year. Dr. Blake says the 43% decline in murders for 2025 is the result of more than just effective policing.
This is not a marginal improvement. It is a substantial reduction, and it reflects the cumulative impact of intelligence-led policing, focused operations against gangs, enhanced firearms interdiction, and the commitment of our officers on the ground. One of the fundamental truths behind the progress we outlined today is that none of this happened in isolation. The gains we are seeing in crime reduction are not the result of police action alone. They are the product of deliberate alignment, shared resolve, and sustained support across the state and wider society.
He was speaking in his end-of-year message. Up to December 20 this year, 649 people have been killed across the island. The country has now recorded fewer than 1,000 murders in a calendar year for the first time since 1996. In other major crimes, the shooting is down 31%, recording 676 incidents up to December 20. Rape is down 27%, but incidents of robbery and break-ins have risen, recording an 8% and 19% increase respectively. Dr. Blake says the work continues in 2026.
At the level of overall major crimes, Jamaica recorded a 13% reduction year on year. So significant is the reduction in violent crimes that even while there have been relatively small increases in two areas, namely robberies and break-ins, there is still significant reduction in overall major crimes. These outcomes are not accidental. Throughout 2025, we continue to refine our operational posture, deepening the integration between operational policing and the intelligence community. This allowed us to identify, disrupt, and dismantle networks responsible for violent crime. To those who persist in organized violence, the message remains unchanged. We are patient, we are informed, and we will not relent.
Dr. Kevin Blake, Police Commissioner. Now, as of December 20, the Kingston East Division recorded a 59% reduction in murders. According to the latest statistics, murders in the division dropped from 61 in 2024 to 25 since the start of the year. The JCF says the reduction was bolstered by intensified operations and enhanced forensic capabilities. Robberies also decreased from 37 to 30, and shootings showed a marginal decline. The JCF is also reporting that the division's investigative success has been equally significant. This with detectives clearing 34 murder cases since the start of the year, representing a 136% murder clearance. Law enforcers noted that reduction in violence is also directly linked to the seizure of illegal weapons. So far, 38 illegal firearms and 698 rounds of ammunition have been seized. The division's targeted apprehension strategy also led to the arrest of 11 high-profile wanted persons, further disrupting criminal networks. Head of the division, Superintendent Michelle Campbell, says saving lives is the priority, and her team will not stop working to keep Kingston East residents safe. To regional and regional Trinidad and Tobago opposition leader Penelope Beckles has taken aim at Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, accusing the government of using punitive traffic fines as a desperate revenue-raising tactic to cover a massive shortfall in the national budget. In a statement issued via her Facebook page on Sunday, Beckles responded to the increased traffic penalties, which will take effect from January 1, 2026, with some fines being doubled. She characterized the government